Yes, people. What's going on? It's the KDG on EGTV, and we're back again with another video. Monty will be joining us very soon, but I have the wonderful Colleen. I have why do I keep forgetting?
Well, why are you struggling again, mate?
Kunle. I know your name. What do you call your other name? The Nigerian Englishman. I'm sorry. Yeah. Kunle. Anyways, big up to you, bro, for always coming on. And guys, I don't know, man. I'm reading something at the same time, and I can't multitask for some reason. But shout out to everyone in the comment section. Hope everyone's doing well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help your boy out. We're trying to get 15K before the season starts, if that's possible. That'd be greatly appreciated if you can help us out by subscribing if you haven't already done that. And yeah, there's just a lot to talk about. We got the Leroy Sane stuff. We got surprising random links to Pedro Neto, and of course, since we have missed out on Oleksandr Martinez, as everyone would try to remind me that we've been rejected, as reports would say, and we've now moved on to Zinchenko. Zinchenko deal seems close to getting done. The deal has been agreed with Man City, and I think there's nowhere else to start but there. The Zinchenko deal, I think, Colleen, we spoke about it the other day. It's already progressed so much since we last spoke about it, and agreed terms with Manchester City. We now need to agree terms with the player. And this deal could be wrapped up come by the end of the week.
Hence my name for him, Zinny. That one seems like it's wrapped up and it's going to happen quite soon, to be fair. I'd be surprised if we didn't get that over the line.
True. What about yourself, my guy? What do you think?
I like it. I see it getting done. It seems like a straightforward deal. He's worked with Arteta before as well, and it looks like coming to Arsenal is going to give him opportunities to play more in central midfield and left back. So he's going to be quite a versatile player for our squad. So I like it, and he's a winner. 25 years old, he can still get better as well. So yeah, exciting.
Yeah, and talking about 25, we already got 25 people in the chat. Do me a favor, guys, hit that like button. We got a question for today's poll: Martinez or Zinchenko, which deal is better? Manchester United paying around 55 million plus add-ons for Martinez, where Arsenal would be paying most likely 30 million for Zinchenko. And with the guy being more of a naturally left-footed center back on the left side rather than a actual left back, whereas Zinchenko has played there quite a bit for Man City. Are we getting a better deal with Zinchenko, or is this just something we are trying to talk ourselves into?
Boy, for me, it's definitely a better deal and I don't want Man United fans to be like, "Oh, you're just salty, you missed out on him." Look, let me not lie to you. Before the links to Martinez, I didn't really know too much about it. Like, what I tend to do after that is go check the YouTube clips, maybe try and catch a few 90-minute games of the player playing. I don't like to just judge on clips. So I checked him out. He looks like a very, very good player. But considering what we need, we genuinely needed cover for left back, which is the most important aspect that we were signing Martinez for. If you're asking me cover for left back, who's better and more suited to the Premier League, is Zinchenko. It's a no-brainer. And the fact that he can play as a central midfielder as well, and he's Prem proven, it's a no-brainer. Like Martinez is definitely a good player, but for the player that we needed, as in cover for Tierney and an option in the middle, perfect, bro. Tactically, he's very, very astute as well.
Boom. Monty, welcome back to the show, bro. It's been a couple of weeks. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. How you doing? How's everyone doing? It's hot as fuck, man. Jesus. But it's good. It's good. Out in the sun, just come back. I'm sweating. But life is all good. Life's good. It's good to hear from everyone. Mate, apart from that, all good. What's what you've been saying? What have I missed?
We were just talking about the Martinez and Zinchenko comparisons, because they're going to be compared based on the fact that we were after Martinez originally, and we've now turned our attention to Zinchenko. So it's like, what do you think about the comparison? And also let us know what you think about Zinchenko, because we haven't spoken to you since.
Yeah, I mean,
strongly linked.
Martinez and Zinchenko, are they similar? Not really. I mean, Arsenal saw him as a sort of a quote unicorn left back. They thought he could be someone that could transition to that position and would be able to do the job nicely. And they thought, okay, we'll go for it. But then when you've got Man United who wanted to play him as his natural position, which is a left centre back, and we don't need him as a left centre back, and I think having a 5'7", 5'8" sort of centre back in the league is a bit, it's a bit risky. But I've seen, looking at his stats, you see his aerial dual stats. He's got like 85%, so he's a good player. But in terms of Zinchenko for that price compared to Martinez for £55 million, man, I'm taking Zinchenko every day. This is a guy, the guy is Prem proven, 4 Premier League titles, God knows how many FA Cups. The guy knows what he's doing. He can play in at DM, he can play in at centre mid, and he can actually bench Saka. Like, this guy can fully step in at midfield and at left back. And I mean, Kieran Tierney's already got a little bit of a niggle. He's only come back for 30 minutes and he's got a bit of a niggle. So, I think comparing them is it's a bit mad. I mean, they're not quite the same person, really. But I don't know what, fair play to United. They got their player for a bit too much than we were willing to pay. That's the nature of the market, and that's typical Man United, overpaying for players. So I'm not too fussed on it. We've got our player, and I think Zinchenko for us, for that price, is just a better fit because it just frees up more funds for other players elsewhere.
Okay, there we go. Broke it down very nicely right there, guys. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about, so we're not going to spend too much on the Zinchenko links. Zinchenko is going to probably get done very, very soon, hopefully. And once we do see it over the line, I'll be very happy. Nothing else really to talk about the Zinchenko deal. Any negatives or positives that we haven't spoken about on Zinchenko, so we can move on? No, nothing. Okay. Let's move on straight to the winger position, because we are linked heavily to a lot of wingers. And the first one we've been linked to, surprisingly, out of nowhere, just the other day, was Leroy Sane, guys. So Leroy Sane, if you don't know, Bayern have just signed a new deal with Serge Gnabry, who is heavily linked to Arsenal. And now it seems like the new unrealistic signing, potentially 70 million euros, Leroy Sane would be going for on the market, has been linked to Arsenal from Bill Sport. So I'll start with you this time first, Monty. What do you think? Do you think Leroy Sane to Arsenal is a possibility, or do you think it's just another pipe dream similar to Gnabry?
No, it's a pipe dream. I mean, back on the 15th of July, he literally said that he wants to step by Bayern Munich, and he wants to challenge for it. So I think it's just a bit of a pipe dream. It's another sort of smokescreen sort of signing. I don't see it happening for the price that they want as well. It's just not within our remit. He's a good player, like the player. I think he's quality. He's exactly the profile. Fits the profile we want, which is a defensive winger, high press off the ball, good crossing, good passing, and just active, covers miles. That's exactly what he is. Whether we go for Sane, I don't know. And like, looking at that profile, that basically already crosses off DRB. That's just not him. He doesn't press anyone for love nor money. He's more of a give the ball to him and he runs off and goes and does something. So that's not happening. I just it doesn't happen. It's like Lucas Paqueta. It's just a bit. It's just like more of a smokescreen than real. Just going to be brutally honest.
There you go. What about Kunle? What about you, man? Because you're one of the people who were saying, "Let's go for Gnabry, man. He's there. He's available." So let's go for Leroy Sane now.
I'm kind of on the page of Monty, but I want to play devil's advocate for a second here, right? Look, because I'm not getting too excited, though. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to players that have worked with Arteta before, there's always a chance, innit? I'm not saying it's going to happen. There's always a chance. Obviously, the law of the Premier League, he's played there before. His best form so far in his career has been in the Premier League. I hear what you said in terms of he wants to fight for his place in Bayern, but that was before Gnabry signed the contract and Mane got there. So things might have changed. Who knows? Look, I'm just speculating. I'm just trying to check some other narratives. I would love it because it'll be freaking deadly. Can you imagine Saka, Sane, and Jesus? Madness, bro. Like, defenses are shook all up and down Europe. It's mad. It's all mad out here. But do I think we can get it done? It's Asna. So I don't know.
Colleen, what about yourself? Leroy Sane.
Like I said on the last stream, it's not happening. It's not happening. I don't see it happening at all. I think even Christian Falk even came out and said there wasn't even talks of links to Arsenal, it was talks of links to Madrid. And he was like, it's not going to happen. His priority is staying at Bayern. But it would be a nice kind of signing. And then, like you just said, anyone who's worked with Arteta before, you think that there could be a chance, even how little. But I think it's just given us an idea on the kind of profile of wingers we've been linked with and the kind of profile that Arteta wants. But just like with Gnabry, it's not going to happen.
These deals, man, we keep seeing them and we say to ourselves, could we get Leroy Sane? I talk myself into it. I get excited, guys. But 70 million euros, do you think we're going to spend that type of money on a winger?
The thing is, I just don't think it's the money. Like, will he come? If Sane says that he's interested in our project, drop the money now. What's the long thing? But is he going to say that? That's the question.
That is true. That is true. Just moving on quickly from that, before I go into the next one, did you guys see the Leno situation? It seems like Fulham don't want to drop the money for the Leno situation. So what's your theory on that situation, guys? Because Arsenal are holding out for 15 million, and this is not like Arsenal. We usually buckle. We don't hold our ground. So I'm very proud of this at this moment in time. But if he doesn't end up leaving and we hold on to him and we don't get any money in the long run, then I'll be upset. So there needs to be a middle ground. Hopefully we can find an agreement. But Colleen, what do you think about the Leno situation?
I mean, he's an international goalkeeper, and he's not a rubbish goalkeeper. He just doesn't play the way we would like, how we're now playing under Arteta. He's a great goalkeeper. Fulham are getting a steal if he goes there. And listen, for the sake of 5 million, you drop the extra 5 for him. Arsenal have notoriously been bad at selling players for a good fee, with a few anomalies being your Awobis and Chamberlains. Fulham is part of the negotiation. I'm sure there must be other clubs lined up for Leno that we're not aware of, because he's not a bum of a keeper. He's a very good keeper. So I think this is the right move by Arsenal. There's a long time left in the transfer window. It's not like we're on the last couple of days.
We want 15 million. They want to give us 10 million. So Kunle, what are you doing? You taking the 10 million or are you still haggling?
I'm gonna talk about the elephant in the room. Is anyone gonna talk about Matt Turner last night? Look, let's be honest. Matt Turner's looking real shaky in his home country. Even in Yankee, he's looking shaky, bro. That's what got me nervous. He's not even in the UK. He's got a nice smooth landing. He's playing in his own country. I thought, yeah, he's gonna rise to the occasion. So this Leno thing, if you're asking me, would it be the worst thing to keep him for a season and lose out on a 10 million? I wouldn't say it's the worst thing, because what Matt Turner showed me yesterday, I'm a bit nervous. But I say, yeah, 10 million, man. That's not too much to ask for Fulham, man. They're taking the mick. Come on, let's do this.
And then finally, do you guys agree with the Matt Turner thing before we go back? Colleen, do you agree with the Matt Turner thing before we go to Monty?
Yeah, he didn't look that confident for me. But it is very early days. It is pre-season. But in this new Edu Arteta era, with our previous signing of goalkeepers such as Runnison, not that great. So, and then we have Ramsdale, who we brought in, who has been very good. I think he's just there, one to work with. I don't want to judge him too much. It's pre-season, but it was. If you were looking, if you wanted me to leave that for him challenging Ramsdale, but that's not happening. He's just gonna be a backup. If that's what I was going in the game looking for, but I think it's too early to say, to be fair.
Okay, Monty, what about you? What are you saying about more about the Turner situation? Because
I'll talk about Turner and I'll go back to Leno. I mean, I would kind of agree with what everyone said. It was a bit shaky, but I think what the thing to look at is he was like a big fish in a small pond in the MLS. He was a good goalkeeper. He was rated as one of the best. I mean, he is literally plays for the American team. I think what he's sort of noticing is that there is just a different speed and a different level to sort of the Premier League and just the sort of players he's playing with. So it's going to take a little time for him to get used to it. And like what Arteta said, he is like happy with him, and that's actually what he said. He's happy with him and what he's doing, his character, and the way he sort of integrated into the squad. And like you said, he was playing in front of his home crowd, but I think that was probably gave him a bit too much pressure. Like even on a preseason game, so I think it's going to be a slow burner. I think he has the characteristics and the willingness to learn, and he's clearly like quite vocal and he's quite like a confident person. But yes, he had some shakes in the game, but overall, I mean, he did okay. but there's lots to develop on, lots to go on. Would I now linking it up to like Leno? Would I say letting Leno go and leaving us kind of short in that sense is going to be a massive risk? I think it is definitely a risk. I think there is a risk involved in letting a player like Leno go and keeping Turner there. But
people in the comments, let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's right. I think at the end of the day, if Arsenal want 15 million for Leno and Fulham can't find the value in that, and I've always said this about Leno. Leno is probably a better shot stopper than Ramsdale. He's unbelievable. He's a great shot stopper. He just can't play with his feet. He can't play in our system. But as a shot stopper, which is exactly what Fulham need, because they're going to be getting pressed every game, they're going to need a shot stopper. So if you can't sump up the extra 5 million for a player like that, you're a fool. And especially Fulham, they're not a team that's spent light in the last 4 times they've been promoted. They were up there in the biggest spenders the last few times. So they just need to get their thumb out of their ass pretty much and just put the money down. You know what I mean? Like 50 million might be a bit audacious.
That reference before.
Yeah, have you not heard that? Oh man, that's an old boy. But yeah, literally, I think 13 million. Slap it down. Just get the deal done. Because if he doesn't go Fulham, he'll go Germany, and he's got multiple teams, and that's what his agent said as well. He's got interest in Germany. He has got the verbal with Fulham. He doesn't have to move house. He can stay in London. That's calm for him. End of the day, though, finish your dinner and put the money down.
I hear that. Okay, so let's just do this more of like an open floor because taking turn things is gonna get long after a while. Pedro Neto. And all these other links that we're hearing for wingers. So we heard Pedro Neto. We've heard Gakpo before. I think that's gone quiet. We hear Diaby. We're hearing some Jeremy Doku. All these names that we're hearing, guys. Is there anybody that excites you that we could actually get in that position? Because I was going to use this moment to speak about Pedro Neto, but the Pedro Neto links are not that serious. So I'm saying to myself, who would you want to see us go get? Because at this moment in time, there's not too many names I'm hearing that are exciting or that I actually think we might get done. I'll let you go first, Colleen, of course. What are you saying?
I mean, yeah, I don't think like you said, the Neto one doesn't seem that too strong. And also, I'm pretty sure he signed like a 5-year deal not too long ago. So I just don't see that one being completely viable. To be honest with you, I'm hearing these kind of names like Diaby being thrown around, Gakpo, who none of them are really interesting me, to be honest with you. And again, I think we need to look at a similar profile that we've been linked with Rafinha.
You don't like Diaby?
He doesn't excite. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I just don't. He doesn't excite me. He doesn't excite me enough if he came in. I think there'd be good potential, but I kind of want. I don't know. I think Arsenal could do a little bit better in terms of how much they were willing to spend on Rafinha and how much of an instant impact he would make. I'm not sure that kind of instant impact that we need. I'm not sure Diaby would make an instant impact straight away. I think it'd take him some time to settle in and whatnot. And I want less of that as possible because this season we really do have to ramp it up. And I don't want there to be any excuses around, he's got this new league, got to kind of settle in, or, he aged, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Colleen, so, okay, I'm going to throw these 2 names at you because you specifically said ready-made, right? Hit the ground running. So I'm going to throw these 2 names at you, right? So Wilfried Zaha or Trossard?
Zaha might go to Everton.
You take any of those?
If I had to pick between the 2 of them, I'd pick Trossard. I don't want Zaha anywhere near Arsenal. Anywhere near. He can stay away. His time has come and gone. It's about 5 years too late as that Zaha signing. I think Trossard. I mean, if I had to pick between them 2, yes. I might be in the minority with that. I'm just not a big fan of Zaha. But neither of what I feel like Arsenal should be going for the next.
I hear you, but because you said like none of those players like Diaby, Gakpo are exciting. Obviously, the next level up is then Sane, Gnabry, and those guys. So we just miss out on those guys because of Champions League. So I'm saying we take a chance with a Premier League proven guy. Trossard's 27 years old. He can play on both wings. He's proven he's a big game player in the games he scored in last season. So I don't think we'd have to pay a lot of money for him as well. So I think that's less of a gamble than going for like a Gakpo or potentially a Diaby, as talented as they both are. But as you said, for the money that they're asking for Diaby, I want him to hit the ground running. I'm not looking to wait all a year like we had to do with Pepe, and we're still waiting. Do you get me?
Can I throw 3 names out there that people bite my head off for? I mean, okay. These are the three that I think one, they match the project, they match the age and everything, and they're actually good players. And people be like, oh, but the stats aren't there. But if you actually watch the games, you'll see that they're good players and they're surrounded by absolute drivel. So first, Abrechi Aziz. 2, Michael Olise. And 3, this is the head turner, Dwight McNeil.
Dwight McNeil. Why Dwight McNeil?
Yeah. Why Dwight McNeil? Okay, now I don't know if anyone actually watched any Burnley games because people say they're boring. Now I used to watch them because they used to frustrate teams all the time, and it was quite an interesting game to watch and how to break down a low block. If any of you actually watch those games, you'd know Dwight McNeil was the sort of he was a great player in a shit team. Like he just had no support, and you had like Cornet, who was just I just don't rate him. But mate, his off the ball work, his pressures off the ball, his defensive work, rate it. Absolutely rate it. And that's the defensive sort of winger that we want. I mean, like
Monty.
Because if you go
Monty. You know, like this is where me and you we're gonna have a problem. Look, it's the first time we're meeting on this EGTV. It's the first time, so I don't want no problems. But you side-eyed me when I said Wilfred Zaha, and to come back with freaking Dwight McNeil. Guys, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember playing football in the playground? I don't know if the viewers remember playing football in the playground, and there's that one guy who dances around like he thinks he's really good at football, but is not really good at football. That's Dwight McNeil. He looks like he's a good footballer. He looks like he's got the stature of he's a good footballer, but he's not that guy. Arsenal want to sign Dwight McNeil. We're finished.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think the shout is that bad because he got relegated and he'd be really cheap. And it sounds like something we might have done in the past where we would have talked ourselves into that.
Oh,
right. But
I'll play a devil's advocate here, right? This is what I'm saying.
I have one more though, Monty, that we didn't
mention. Go.
Harvey Barnes.
I mean, he's a good player.
Think about Harvey Barnes. Would you be interested in Harvey Barnes?
It costs a lot of money though.
Yeah.
Can he play on the right though? Because we have a lot of players on the left.
I think his heat map is on the right, personally.
But he'll play on the left, Saka on the right, so perfect.
Okay.
I mean, Saka can play anywhere though.
Well, one second. Do you guys want a right winger coming in, or do you not care what position they play as long as they produce the goals that we need? Colleen?
It's got to be versatile. A versatile winger who can go across the three, ideally.
Everyone agrees? I personally think whoever we bring in has to be someone who can at least contribute 20 goals, all comps. Goal contributions, all comps, easy. Because if we're paying money for you and we're bringing you in, you have to be an improvement on what we currently have. And what we currently have is 2 guys who are giving us around 15 each. People are saying we need a right winger. Does it matter if he's a right winger or a left winger? We just need a winger.
Someone that can play on both wings. That's the most important thing, really. Like someone that's flexible.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to throw you guys, if you can give us some questions, guys, in the comment section. Let us know what you guys are saying. Give us some questions so we can go through them also, because you guys come up with some good stuff. So let's throw in your questions, give us your thoughts. And also don't forget to hit that like button. We already have 80 people in the chat. You're going to say something, Monty, before I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, so a lot of people be like, oh, Dwight McNeil, you're a fool, yeah. And this is the only reason I say it, and generally because everyone knows Burnley's midfield was an absolute shambles, and they couldn't transition to save their life. But if you actually look at Dwight McNeil's defensive stats, right, it's unreal. Like his pressures per game, 19.7, which puts him in the 75 percentile. His tackles is 2 a game, which is 88 percentile. And then when you go to his interceptions, it's also 2 a game, which is 98 percentile for a winger, right? And then you've got his blocks, which is 2.4 a game. That's mental. That's like at the centre back level. That's 99 percentile.
Right? Did you know what's mental about this? What's actually mental about this is that I swear, Colleen Egar, we're talking about a winger. This guy's giving me freaking left back stats. What's going on here? What's going on here, blood? I'm hearing what you're saying, like blocks and all this stuff. I don't care. I want someone who can get 20 GAs.
No, but that's what I mean. If when you actually watch him, he can do it, but he just never had the opportunity. Like he just didn't, and he's only 22.
Do you guys like Gakpo?
My head's hurting, man.
Colleen,
Gakpo's a baller, bro. Baller.
I like him, but I'm just very skeptical about where we need to be by the end of next season and the achievements that we need to get to. And I just don't know whether it's the right moment for us to be signing Gakpo. But at the minute, now we missed out on Rafinha. You know, pickings are slim, so we might have to. I wouldn't be mad, but I'm just cautious of how it might take him to adapt to the Premier League, if I'm honest with you. And we literally don't have time for that.
Before we start talking about Saka, everyone's already given their suggestion. Colleen, who's your suggestion for who we should go and acquire in that right wing?
I quite like the Barnes shout, actually, that you said. I didn't actually give that any thought. Michael, how do you say his surname?
Michael Olise.
Olise, yeah. I think he's a great shout. Signed a new deal, I think. So that would be pretty difficult, I would imagine. But I do like the Harvey Barnes shout. I didn't think of that. I think he's got talent. Proper talent, that boy. But I think Everton would be asking for
Leicester. That would be like a 70 million job.
I think Leicester would be asking for way too much. Leicester historically, how much they charge for their players. But I mean, at the end of the day, if we do have the money, I'm not mad. I kind of want someone who I know will hit the ground running in the Prem. That's kind of my thinking around it.
Boom. I just seen a comment about Paqueta, Gakpo, Tielemans. What is going on with these midfield position? Because we don't seem to be progressing with the Tielemans deal. We just have it there. The Paqueta deal has come and gone. Do you guys think Arsenal just likes doing one deal at a time, or do you think they're doing other deals behind the scenes, but you only hear about one in the media? What do you think it is? Because surely they're not just working on one deal at a time.
Basically,
they work.
No, go on.
No, okay. I was going to say they do several deals at the same time. I mean, like Edu, what his job is literally to speak to all of their targets throughout the whole summer. That's why you'll hear like, oh, we've spoken to him, and it'd be like the agent will be say like he's just called me, but then like it'll go to the media, oh, they're interested and all this kind of stuff, right? His job is just to keep everyone happy. So because he will have an A, B, and a C plan, right? Now Rafinha wasn't actually the original plan. But it became the plan because Barcelona looked like realistically they couldn't afford it. So we thought, you know what, we'll jump on that. Right. Then somehow out of nowhere, some brown envelope shit happened and Barcelona somehow come up with money. And paid for Lewandowski on top of it. You're like, all right, fair enough. Get the police in there.
I stopped asking questions about Barcelona.
Yeah. Honestly, but I don't know how they do it. But so that happened, right? Then he's going to be going on to their next targets. Now, the targets, they want to keep them dead quiet. No one's going to know any of their target because if we let them know like they did with Martinez, Man United will be like, hang about, we want to know what's going on here. So it's all going to be hush hush. They're going to do it on the thing. See, with Tielemans is clearly at this stage plan B. Clearly plan B. There's another target out there that we don't even know yet. And I mean, it could even be a player of significant value, but we don't know.
I agree with you. I was saying to a gal on the last couple of shows,
mystery player.
this Tielemans deal is just looking. I feel like if he was Plan A, I think we would have got him already. It's not that difficult of a deal. He's got 1 year left. Leicester need to sell. Essentially, he's not signing an extension. So I agree. There's someone else.
Yeah. There's the only way. Sorry, the only way I could say that Tielemans is Plan A. This is the only way I could see it. Now, Arsenal know it's about £25 million to get that deal done, right? It's about £25 million. And what Arteta said before the end of the season, he said, we've got certain resources, not unlimited resources, but certain. That's what he said. Now, if you're a business manager or you're managing finances and you know you've got an expenditure here, and yet you've got expenditures that aren't quite yet worked out yet, you will save that one that you know how much it's going to cost to the end, because you can go, right, we've got X amount of money to spend. Let's try and work it out and then have that amount left at the end so we can then buy it. That's the only way that I can see that Tielemans is somehow Plan A if they're still trying to work out deals for the other targets that they don't know the price yet.
Do you know what? I think coming into the summer, Tielemans was initially the Plan A, but then the summer came. And obviously, like something random happened with Rafinha, and then Leicester were talking all that 40 million for a guy in the last year of his contract. They're like, huh? We're looking to spend 40 million. Like, let's shop around a little bit, because at the end of the day, no Champions League team have come in for Tielemans just yet. he's the personal terms are quite easy to deal with. So we're gonna wait it out with Leicester to the last week of the window. I told everyone he's gonna play the first game for Leicester, and he's gonna end up at Arsenal at the end of the window because Leicester are gonna have to sell rather than risk losing him on a free. So that's what I think is happening. But in terms of all this midfield talk, Paqueta, it's not happening. Definitely not happening, and I don't want it to happen. But like Tielemans comes in. Obviously, the outside chance is Milinkovic, but I'm not going to try and get myself entertained by that thought because it's not going to happen in it. But just get Tielemans done, man.
I think there's a lot more interesting topics on yesterday's game, and not the game itself, but everything that's come out after the fact. So things that I learned from yesterday's game is, first of all, Tomiyasu and Tierney are nowhere to be found. Where are Tomiyasu and Tierney? It seems like they both are somewhat have some sort of knock, and in preparation to the new season, we need to have their backups covered. We need Zinchenko in as soon as possible, and we need to figure out who the number 2 is going to be to Tomiyasu. Is it going to be Cedric? Is it going to be Norton Cuffy? We're going to need to figure these things out because at this moment in time, we cannot rely on Tomiyasu and Tierney to be fit for the whole entire season. I know you've probably seen the report. The report came out last night after the game. A reporter was speaking about the injury. Here we go. He said something across the line. Arsenal on injuries. We have Tierney has a slight problem. ESR has a muscle niggle, and you have Tomiyasu as well as Ben White. And it says something about Vieira also having a slight problem with his bone. What?
Already, the problems have started already.
I'm not gonna lie to you. These are normal to have players.
He needs some milk, basically, bro.
When it comes to Arsenal, these are normal, yeah.
These are it's normal to have players that have injuries, but come on, guys, what's going on?
Right, just get my man some Cravendale, let him drink it. Like he'll be grand.
All right, so chat to me, guys. Injuries. Are you guys worried?
This thing is increased. You can expect a few niggles and things like that, but Tomiyasu and Tierney are top offenders all the time. And one of your biggest strengths as a player is your availability. And they're not available enough. And it's starting to really frustrate me, to be honest. It might be too soon for me to be as frustrated as I feel I am with it, but it's just getting a bit ridiculous because now we really do have to, I don't think we're bringing in a right back, to be honest with you. I think they're going to stick with Cedric. I'm not saying it's the right decision, but I just don't kind of see it unless we start stop dragging our heels in the window a little bit, and especially that we haven't sold Bellerin yet. If that's going to be the case, and we're going to stick with them, Zinchenko makes sense because he's a good quality player and can come in there and do the job and even be very competitive for Tierney when he's fit. Cedric isn't necessarily that competitive with Tomiyasu when they're both fit because they're two different styles of players when it comes to being a right back. Tomiyasu can defend. Yeah. So
you know what? Bellerin, how bad was he yesterday? We can't have him here.
I'm gonna do something nice. I'm just gonna not comment on Hector anymore. Like, big him up for Arsenal boy. It's just the end of this chapter between both of us, innit? No hard feelings, but let's find him a club real quick, man. Big up Hector, innit? That's all I'll say.
Okay. No worries. What about the injuries? Monkey, what are you saying about the injuries?
I mean, it's a worry, yeah. Tierney just seems to constantly get injured, but with Zinchenko coming in, that doesn't bother me. He can easily step in. That's a great backup. And even like with Tavares as well, he hasn't actually looked too bad in the offseason, and he's bulked up. He's bulked up a bit. Man's looking swole. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah. I'm not going to be the advocate and say he's going to be our backup, but to be our backup to Zinchenko, yeah, sure. If he's our third option, jeez. I mean, it's definitely a worry. I think Tomiyasu more so than Tierney, but just because we have a proper backup. But I think we need to get someone who can step in. I mean, Cedric Suarez hasn't looked too bad, but is he the guy that's going to take us forward? No. Can he do a job? Yeah, he can do a job. It's like Mohamed El Neni. He can do a job. Not going
What
to
do you
take
guys
us to the
think
next
about this
level.
comment? Cedric, in my opinion, is better at left back. He definitely isn't because he cuts back onto his right to cross every time.
Don't do that.
So,
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, Hefty. Don't.
okay. Would you take Pulisic as a left or right winger? I wouldn't take Pulisic. No.
Pulisic. Oh, he's a professional hospital patient whose career is blighted by football.
That's a no to Pulisic. That's a no to Pulisic. Quickly, moving away from the injuries, talking about Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka did score yesterday. We're going to get on to the main attractions of yesterday's game in a second. But Bukayo Saka did score. There is rumors around his contract potentially and rumors around Man City sniffing about. I want to hear. I spoke to Colleen about this the other day, I think, but I want to hear from Monty and my guy Kunle. What are you guys saying?
Go for it.
Like, we got to do everything we can to get Saka to sign. I was very confident before the end of the season that he was going to sign, but obviously with the Sterling news and earlier on as well, when Salah was kind of pondering whether he was going to sign or not, I was starting to get a little bit, we need to get this done real quick. So even if they do come sniffing around, we're well protected. So that it has to be the priority. He's our star boy, and I hope he's still excited about the project here. He's the main man here. Like, there's certain things that he can do at Arsenal that he wouldn't be able to do at like a Liverpool or City. Like, for example, that penalty he took against Chelsea, like the redemption penalty after the Euros, he probably wouldn't have had the chance to take that if he was a Liverpool or City player. But Arsenal is his club. Like, put us on his back, and we need him. He's the future. But I think we've got. I think if he does sign, we got 2-3 years to convince him, like, we can match his ambitions. So we need to be careful, regardless.
Okay.
I would agree. I think Saka, if signing Saka on a contract is like a signing in itself, I mean, it's quite evident there's not, in my opinion, there is not a better young winger in the world at the moment. Only Vinicius Jr. maybe. Genuinely, Saka's that bloody good because he can play in any position and he just seems to be the best player on the pitch. And we saw that when he was at left back, left wing, he was doing stints at right mid, left mid. Like, it doesn't matter where he goes, the guy's a baller. So yeah, have to sign him, have to secure him. Am I worried about it? Not really. But what I think the delay is, I mean, as a player, obviously he has aspirations to play in the Champions League, like every world-class player does.
Yeah.
And it's evident that when he signed his contract last time, we were giving him certain incentives and we're basically telling him what the project is and telling him where we want to go. Now it's a case of following up on that, signing some players who match that sort of intent, and then he'll be going, do you know what? Yeah, we've got a good team around here. I think Gabriel Jesus was a huge signing for us, and that you can already see the impact he's having on the players. I mean, Saka did his celebration the other day. Do you know what I mean? Like, he never did that with Nketiah once. Like, Nketiah must be hot in their head thinking about it.
I want to talk on Gabriel Jesus, so I think this is the perfect segue. Could Gabriel Jesus transform our attack? Or is it just too early to say that? Because I woke up, before I went to sleep, I was thinking Gabriel Jesus is a striker that has movement, and he has the technical ability, and he might be able to actually get us the goals that we need. Because before we had either somebody who could run or somebody who could build up play. We didn't have both in Lacazette and Aubameyang. So now we have a player who can most likely do both, and he showed it with the second goal, turning, creating the chance for Saka, and the beautiful touch and goal for the first chance. I know it's preseason. Don't get yourself carried away, but I'm getting myself carried away, guys. This is what's happening. Colleen, what do you think? Do you think he's going to transform our attack?
Yeah, because he's unfortunately, he's never really been starting for City's main man since he's joined. He's always had to fight with Aguero, or when they've kind of opted to play without a striker. But whenever he has played for City, he's been quality. And I think there's so many incentives for him this season to hit the ground running. I mean, he's already got that innate quality. He's very young. He's you can see he suits the way Arteta wants to play in attack. But we're hitting a World Cup year that is much earlier than normal as well. He wants to be the number 9 instead of Richarlison or anyone else for Brazil. It's not like he's got a lack of quality. What we're just trying to see whether he can do it across, be the main guy for like 30 odd games going forward. That's the only question. And there's no doubt in my mind, considering what we've seen of him and his quality even before coming to Arsenal. So I am very confident in this signing. I'd be very surprised if it went bad for some reason.
Boom. Anybody actually think Bukayo Saka is leaving? Because I personally think it's more just rivals banter, people outside of the club trying to throw salt, because Man City can prepare as much as they want. If Bukayo Saka views it as a better opportunity to stay at Arsenal and get more game time and development, I think he could potentially leave in the future, but not right now. This summer, I don't think he's going anywhere, especially with the World Cup coming around 100%. So close.
Yeah,
so
100%.
close. He wants to be in that England team for redemption against for what happened in the Euros. Moving away for Gabriel Jesus again. How good has Gabriel Jesus been, guys? Because this is preseason, but it's a breath of fresh air.
What is it? Three games, 4 goals, one or 2 assists, three clean sheet. No, well, 2 clean sheets. Like, what more do you want? Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at him, he's electric. Like, and I would agree with what Colleen's saying. Like, Gabriel Jesus, and when you speak to any City fan, they all loved him. Like, everyone loved him. Everyone said, "Do you know what? You've got a really good player, and we have got a really good player, and now we're going to give him the limelight," which is what he didn't have. And now he's gonna eat that. He's gonna eat that up, bro.
Mateos is so harsh, bro. Mateos is so harsh. He said, bro, he's delaying the contract talks. In my opinion, bin him and get 100 million. Bro, come on, man. You're talking about Bukayo Saka here.
That's wild, man.
Nah, I think Bukayo Saka, he'll sign a contract, but I reckon there'll probably be some form of deal that if we don't get top 4 next season, there's probably a clause in there or something like that. There might
you think the club will put a sell-on clause? I don't know.
No, not a sell-on clause, but it depends on what the player wants at the end of the day. You have to secure him no matter what. So I think if we don't get top 4, which is, I'd be fuming. I'd be like, Arteta out if you don't get top 4 next season. These.
Oh wait, Monty. If he comes 5th and wins the Europa, are you still Arteta out?
No. If he wins the Europa, then I'm cold, bro, because we're still in the Champions League. We have
even if he finishes 8th.
If he finishes 8th, I'm going to be a bit jarred. But winning the Europa, I'm still in the Champions League, bro. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
Like for real, bro. And Europa, you're still keeping it. We're the 8th best team in our league, and that's okay.
Yeah. How many managers have won us a European trophy?
I hear you. I do hear you, and I wanted to have the same stance, but after 3 years, to tell me we're still the 8th best team in our league, I don't know, bro.
Can I ask you?
I can go as far as 6th.
Do you see us finishing 8th? Let's be real. Do you see us finishing 8th?
Of course not. Of course not.
All right. No. This is what I mean. It's honestly, and I've said this multiple times in many spaces and streams. My absolute minimum objectives for the season, absolute minimum. I want to win Europa. I don't care. We're the favourites to win that. Just win that. Top 4, absolute must. But if we get, say, 5th and win Europa, I'm also happy with that, because at the end of the day, we're still in the Champions League and we have a European title. If we get top 4 and don't win Europa, I'm still going to be pissed. Do you know what I mean? I'm still going to be jarred.
Ask everyone, what's everyone's expectations? And I'm just going to go to this super chat quickly. Big up Monty one more time. I don't move with statements that value long term for the club. I value the club long term. Yeah, I hear you. You're not about sentiment. I hear that, bro. Quickly,
if you value the club, then surely you'd value our sort of style and our history, and it's about bringing players from the academy and rising them to be stars. Do you know what I mean?
Trying to hold on to them.
Awesome. Yeah.
Expectations, guys. Expectations. Because we were just talking about it. Kunle, what's your expectations? Because Monty just laid out his clearly.
Look, for me, we gotta get top 4, man. For me personally, man. Top 4, just Champions League is not good enough for me. I'm not anything below 6th place and the Europa League. I'm not accepting it, so I just can't. And that's regardless of what else we do in the transfer window. Whether we don't even sign one more player, Arteta must get us Champions League football without fail, or he should not be at the club again. That's it. I'm Arteta in, but I can't back him after that. If he does it again, I can't. But if he does have a good transfer window, depending on what we do end up getting, might make me ask for a little bit more. But as is,
jeez,
Champions League football is what I'm asking for, isn't it? but I
100%.
can't finish any lower than 6th.
I want to be in the Emirates,
No,
man,
no,
on those Tuesday nights, man, listening to that music. Like, just bring that to me. Like,
Colleen, what
Jesus.
about you? Your expectations is the same as the boys? Just try to get back into the Champions League at any means necessary. That's it?
The expectation is to get back into the Champions League. So I don't mind if it's through the Europa. I would prefer if it was via top 4. That's not me stubbing my nose at the Europa trophy. I just want to see some progress in the actual league. But then, the difference between us and Tottenham was like a couple of points at the end of last season. There's not like a big gap or something like that. But I think if we don't get Champions League, even if we won the FA Cup or something like that, I think we have to split from Arteta, to be honest with you. Even if we finish 6th with the Europa, I think I would even be like, thank you for all you've done, but your time is now done.
Big up. I big that.
What if we finish 6th, won the FA Cup and Europa?
Ooh,
Let me just read Monty super chat here. If Arteta doesn't win Europa, he has to go. What about if he gets top 4, Monty? I mean,
Mateos.
I don't know why I said Monty. Mateos, let me know. Big up Mateos, my Ethiopian brother. Talk to me, guys. Let me know. Because here's my scenario. Arsenal do a domestic double and they don't get top 4. Or Arsenal finish 3rd.
Are you talking League Cup, FA Cup, or League?
Okay, how about this? We win the Europa League, or we win the Europa League, or we finish 3rd. Which one would you rather have?
That's continental double.
Which one shows more progression in your eyes?
Nah, that has to be context with that Europa League. Where are we finishing?
We finish 5th outside of the Champions League spots, but we win the Europa League, or you finish 3rd and you've been off the Europa League and you finish 3rd in the league. You establish yourself as a Champions League team through the league.
Do you know what? I would
that European trophy all day long.
Yeah. Because I would say, like, if we were to say,
Pauline's like, yeah, I want the trophy.
Yeah, no, but 100%. Like, because if we come 3rd, right, and say we got knocked out, I don't know, round 16, quarterfinal, whatever, then that means we lost all those extra games. So we could then focus on the league, right? I want an actual challenge. I want to see us go deep in competitions and see how we compete still in the league whilst playing all those games. That's what I'm interested in, because that's actual progress. Because if you want to be the best, you've got to play 50 games a season plus.
And if you want to be the best, you need squad depth. And
100%.
William Saliba will not be squad depth come the beginning of the season. I genuinely believe William Saliba will be a starter.
William Saliba is going to eat your striker for breakfast, bro.
He will be a starter. He will be a starter come the next season. In my opinion. William Saliba's performance yesterday, in one word, I would say confident. Or, you know what? Change it from confident. Just calm. He was just calm. He was calm on the ball, received the ball, no pressure. Even when there was pressure, he just nonchalantly passes it about. He is so gifted on the ball, and defensively, he has gotten and learned his craft over there in France. We're getting a much better Saliba,
and he's so young.
I've seen people even compare him to Virgil van Dijk. Chill. We shouldn't be doing that, but like body size and like speed and athleticism, he has all the gifts to be an amazing center back. I'm very excited about this guy. What do you guys think about Saliba?
I think he's come back a man. He's come back to Arsenal a man now. And as you said, he looked very calm and composed on the ball. Now, I'm not going to get as excited as social media is about him, but I like it. But I will say we kind of need to give him that starting berth as soon as possible if he's going to sign this contract, because I think when he went on loan, I don't think he saw the bigger picture initially. He just thought Arteta doesn't like me. So now I'm French Young Player of the Year. I got a French call up. Now you think I'm the big dog. Now you're talking to me. So he might come back to Arsenal like, I told you I was this guy 2 years ago anyway. So we have to show him that he's an important piece of this puzzle, or he's just gonna run that contract down and have options next summer. He will definitely be at the club this year for sure. But I think how much game time he gets early on the first half of the season will dictate how quickly, if there is a chance to get him to sign a new contract. But what I've seen so far, I like it, man. Keep it going.
Listen to this. People remember trophies, not league positions. That's true.
100%. That's why people go like, top 4 is not a trophy, bro. It just isn't. It just isn't.
Okay.
But no, honestly, I don't sound William Saliba for real, yeah. With this player, and this is what I'm looking forward to. This is why we're actually sourcing another centre back. Everyone's going, "Oh, why are we trying to get a left centre back to replace Gabriel?" No, it's not to replace Gabriel. It's so because we've got Gabriel and White there. Yeah, that's a partnership. They've played with each other up for many times. Now we just need one with Saliba. Do you know what I mean? Like if we can just go on the Wednesday, bang, you go in. On the Saturday, you go in. And then you just keep rotating, and then you can rotate Saliba in with Gabriel, depending on the game, because they're both physical, big, they're tall, both physical. And then if you want more of a ball playing defender, you go for White because he can run out from the back. If it depends on how you want to set up. We already in pre-seasons, we've gone to a back 3, we've gone to a back 4. It's going to be different schemes, different plans next year. And it all depends up on the personnel, the people that we're playing. Like if you want to break it down a low block, like we that was the one thing we struggled with last season. We need to have more attackers, so we'll go to a back 3. Like we'll go to a back 3, and that will probably maybe consist of a player like Saliba, Gabriel Holding, or I'd like to see White, Gabriel, Saliba as a back 3 because that's be unreal. The creativeness as well that they could do. They could all ping a ball from the back. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
You know what?
In relation to the game,
I just wanted to say something quickly with the Saliba thing. Everyone cares about the partnership. Who's going to start? Saliba, Gabriel, Saliba, White. I really don't care. As long as we're winning games, you don't see Liverpool fans upset that Konate and Matip are rotating and one isn't starting over the other. So let's not do this whole thing where I'm Team Saliba, I'm Team Ben White, I'm Team Gabriel. No, I'm Arsenal fan, and I support Arsenal, and I want Arsenal to win. I don't care who starts. But Colleen, you're gonna say something, or was it Kunle? I think it was Kunle. Kunle, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, in terms of what Monty was saying about 3 at the back, don't you think yesterday when we actually did go to 3 at the back, the whole second half was kind of flat offensively? So I was a bit worried about that. Defensively, we look very strong.
Look at the personnel we got on.
I hear you. That's the only caveat to that.
Okay. We always talk about Pepe, guys. It gets heated when we talk about Pepe. Today, is there a point of bringing him up? Is there a point of bringing up Pepe?
He didn't want to be brought up today. So that for his performance last night, he didn't want to be brought up. So let's not do it.
Let's not do it.
It's interesting. No, I don't know what. It's actually interesting to talk about it though, because Leicester are monitoring him, and it links back to your Harvey Barnes talks. So, just saying. I mean, like Arsenal could go, do you know what? Fuck it. We'll give you 25 for Tielemans. We'll give you Pepe, and you give us Harvey Barnes, and we'll chuck an extra, I don't know, 30 mil.
What do you guys think about that young kid, Walter? Colleen, have you been watching the preseason games?
Yeah, I've been catching a few bits of it. I think it was kind of goes back to that conversation we had last time that Arsenal have quite a bit of talent in Haaland and the younger players, hence why it was quite disappointing. But you can understand why Amari Hutchinson had to leave and has gone to Chelsea. I think there's an opportunity for them when it comes to Europa League group stages, but I don't see anyone from what I've watched bursting in, or even Patino. I don't see anyone challenging for a first spot in the first 11 at this current moment in time, to be honest
Marcelo Flores. That's the one name I'll say. Marcelo Flores.
He's going to be leaving Arsenal.
Minute either, isn't
he? He's not going to leave. He's not going to leave. He's just annoyed. He won't leave.
No.
He's going.
Flores might leave, man.
I don't see it. Not this year.
Let Colleen finish her point.
Squad.
Let Colleen finish her point, guys. Sorry, Colleen, you were saying something?
No, that was it.
Okay, you're done. Yeah, Marcelo Flores, bro. The situation with Marcelo Flores, for anyone who doesn't know, he was told that he might be given an opportunity for the preseason tour. He then did not go with Mexico for the Under-21 World Cup, and now he finds that Arsenal aren't taking him on the US preseason tour. So he's extremely upset, and he hasn't showed up to training and hasn't spoken to anyone for like 3 days. That's what the report came out. And with Amari Hutchinson leaving, people are saying they wouldn't be surprised if he left also.
I don't see Flores leaving personally.
I want to ask you guys this: do you care that we took 5 goalkeepers to the preseason tour?
Yeah, yes. That was wild.
That was weird.
So it's like you didn't take the kids?
the only way I could think that is in any way a good thing is if they had like such a deep squad that they wanted to have like 4 games going on coherently. But like, do you know what I mean? They didn't do that. So yeah, it's a bit wild. Unless they literally did like a crash course and had literally like the, when you do like the half pitch training session when you have like a quick game. Unless they did that like at the same time and had 4 different squads and those different systems, maybe. But still, 5 goalkeepers is wild. Like, just leave Leno at home.
Decision. Honestly, why have I do this thing where I defend Arteta. So I'm gonna just tell you guys straight up. I don't get it. I'm not defending this decision at all. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me. But at the same time, if he wants to see if any of these players want to be part of the team, he can't then not put them in the preseason team. And then later, if we don't sell them, try to find them a way into the first team squad. So Torreira, I understand. Pablo Mari, even though it doesn't make sense, I understand. Hector Bellerin, maybe we can try to get him a move away if they play well. I understand that. Leno, the one that doesn't make any sense because this deal is so progressed. Why are we taking Leno on the with us to America? It doesn't make sense. And anyone else? Nuno Tavares. We were supposed to loan him away. Now the loan has fallen apart. So that makes sense. Those kind of situations make sense, but some of them don't. But yeah, there's nothing else really to be said about any of that. But the final thing I was going to say is if you guys have anything you want to bring up, but Thomas Partey, football is just too easy for Thomas Partey. Like yesterday in that midfield against Everton's midfield, it was night and day. He literally was just gliding past people, making it look so easy. And it just goes to show you, with Thomas Partey, we are a really good midfield. Without Thomas Partey, we have a really poor midfield. And Sambi Lokonga looked good yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. You had Ainsley playing in the midfield at times. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I want to see him in the midfield if he couldn't do it at West Bromwich Albion. But yeah, talk to me guys about the midfield issues, because yesterday, if anything showed up, how poor the midfield was the moment Thomas Partey was off.
I think that's why we need another midfielder as well, to be honest with you, because Thomas Partey as well, another one of the main offenders who is unreliable when it comes to availability. We know how much what he can do. Once he's in form and in us and playing for us, he just takes us up several notches. But he's another one that I worry about in terms of are we going to see him for the majority of the season? I don't know.
Okay,
it's a problem, man. Do you guys think that do you reckon that we can we will keep Xhaka if we sign Tielemans? Because the reason I'm asking is, can you, because of Xhaka's ego and his arrogance, can you see him ready to be a bench player?
I would argue and say it's not necessarily he would be benched. I think it would just depend on the system we go with and who we go up against. I think defensively, Xhaka's a better player than Tielemans. So if we're against a team where we're a little bit under the cosh and we need sort of more of a defensive midfielder, he might get the start over. If we need more of a creative player against, say, like a low block team, probably get Tielemans going in over him. But I would.
We got Zinchenko now as well, so remember that.
Yeah, I still think Zinchenko is going to be more as a left back. I think he'll only step in at mid. He's going to be more the extra man, and it's something that we saw. Ainsley Maitland-Niles when he was playing at right back, and we saw him, he would like step up into the midfield. It's something that Tomiyasu does. He comes into sort of as an inverted midfielder, and he basically creates an extra body next to Partey as a defensive player. So then that pushes up the 2 centre backs in Ødegaard and Xhaka, so they can go more wide. And then what that does is that causes the wingers to then be able to step in and with the strikers. So you basically have like a front 5. So you're going to see that he'll come into midfield, but he won't start as a midfielder. But if we're when we're defending, it'll be like a 4-4-3-3. But when we're attacking, it'll be more of like a 3-2-2, like 5, pretty much.
Well, Monty, don't you think Zinchenko will get a lot more chances in the middle of the park? Because obviously, like, why would he leave City to do the same thing, be like a utility player at Arsenal? Because the reason I think is because Arteta has promised him a little bit more opportunities in the middle of the park. He's definitely going to come in as a backup left back, but I do think he's going to get a lot more opportunities.
I think if you guys haven't seen the tweet going around with him and Xhaka's heat maps, they look identical. So I do think Zinchenko will be playing in that position. But just before we go, guys, I was just going to ask you guys: is there any talking points that you wanted to talk about specifically in regards to Arsenal that we didn't touch on? Colleen, you've been very quiet today.
No, I can't think of anything else. I think we kind of touched it on the last couple of streams as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's difficult because we're kind of talking about rumors and who we think might come in, and it's difficult to comment on a lot of these things because it's a lot 90% of the time that it's just nonsense and it's not real until you get your Ornstein or Fabrizio coming in. It's all kind of pie in the sky kind of stuff, and Arsenal being very, very secretive. So I guess we just have to keep watching this space. But the early signals I think is good. You were never going to get everyone in all before pre-season, to be honest with you. It just never happens. As much as us fans want a full squad, all our signings done in nice and early. But so far, at least we know the intention is there and they can recognise as an issue for a winger. And, whether the midfield one gets done, I don't know, especially with what you just touched upon around Zinchenko. But so far, so good. Let's see how it progresses.
What would you rate the window if we ended up finishing up with, say, Tielemans and Zinchenko?
And that's it. No winger or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed, to be honest with you, just because how quickly we were ready to jump on the Rafinha one, to be fair. I don't think that would be enough for me. I think we still need another couple on top of that. But you never address all your problems in one window, unfortunately. But I would say they'd have to be very, very, very confident of their goals of achieving of what we want next season. If it's just Zinchenko and Tielemans, I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, Zinchenko would start for me, depending on who's available, of course. But he could play on the left and he can play in the midfield. I can see him starting in both positions. Xhaka on the bench, I definitely do see Xhaka on the bench. But did you guys see the picture of Xhaka and Partey holding hands?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a subliminal stuff they put out when they're about to keep somebody. But yeah, Kunle, anything that you want to touch on before we go?
I just want to say, I think we need 3 players for me before the window closes. I don't see us getting any more than 2 more players. But when it comes to Arsenal transfer window, my attitude is very much hope for don't expect anything in it, so you can be surprised, because our board like to dance, confuse, and our tactic is confuse and convince. For as many stories out there with these big links, and then at the end of the window they'll say, "Oh, we tried, we really tried," but then so we can't be upset. But I don't know, man. If we get at least 2 done, I'll be more than content. But ideally 3.
Okay, and what about you, Monty? Anything that you want to say before we go? Because I know you're always plugged in. You're seeing all the sources and everything. I see you became an ITK almost.
Yeah. Well, the thing to look at the moment is there's just Premier League clubs looking at Pepe. For the first time, I've been trying to get some information for ages, because obviously he changed his agent to Louis Ferrero. I can't really pronounce his name. Used to be on the board at PSG. And he basically got him to procure a deal, and now Leeds and Leicester are the 2 sort of Premier League teams that have been exploring the idea of a deal. So just look at that. That's the only thing I can say that's sort of new. Just look at that. In regards to the midfielder, there was a tweet that went out that it's a Premier League proven winger and the plan B is one outside. I mean, it's just quite a bit of a blasé statement, really, isn't it? It kind of covers both their tracks just in case he's wrong. So no one knows who that target is. Just wait and see. They've clearly got a plan, so not much. If how would I rate the window if we didn't get a winger with everything else that we've got, and including that we did get a midfielder, it'd probably be like a 7 or an 8. If Pepe was to go and we didn't replace him, yeah, 100%. That's an awful window, because as good as Marcelo Flores is, I don't think he's ready to step up like that big. So yeah, we need to get a winger. But it's worth noting that back in May, literally tweeted out, because I know for a fact that they have 5 targets for this window, and it's a centre back, full-back, midfielder, right wing, striker. So we've already got a left back and a midfielder effectively in Zinchenko. That's just going to be wrapped up sort of next week. Gabriel Jesus is the striker. Now it's a case of getting that centre back and that right wing.
Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up here. People still getting onto Edu. People talking about the Tielemans thing, but guys, you know what? Talking about Arsenal transfers can get draining if you talk about it every day. So I think I'm gonna take a break, take a couple of days off from talking about Arsenal transfers, unless something massive happens, because it's been talking about it too much. But thank you, Colleen, for coming on. Thank you, my guy Kunle, for coming on. Thank you, Monty, for coming on. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day.
Good,
I'll be back later tonight talking about other
Don't
stuff.
forget to subscribe.
Top 10 center backs in world football. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already done that, and leave a comment on the video if you've gotten up to this point. Leave a comment. Wait until the video ends and leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about the